You have people who would answer if you called. You have names in your phone, faces on your feed, people who would say they care about you and mean it. And yet, there are nights, and you know exactly which nights I'm talking about, where you feel like the most invisible person on the planet, where you are surrounded by noise and people and light, and you have never felt more alone in your life. That feeling has a name. It is not loneliness the way your grandparents knew it. It is something new, something modern, something the human brain was never designed to handle. And right now, I am going to show you exactly what it is, where it came from, and why it is not your fault. Let me describe something you have never said out loud. You go to the party, you say the right things, you laugh at the right moments, you perform the version of yourself that everyone expects to show up. And on the drive home, you feel emptier than when you left. You have a group chat, maybe several, messages all day long, memes, plans, reactions, and still, there is a version of you that nobody in that group chat has ever met. The version that questions everything at 2 a.m. The version that has been waiting for years for someone to just ask the right question, and nobody has asked it yet. So you keep performing. You keep being the person everyone thinks you are, while the person you actually are gets quieter and quieter and quieter. That is not weakness. That is the loneliness epidemic. And it is happening to more people right now than at any other point in recorded human history. In 2023, the United States Surgeon General issued a formal advisory, not about obesity, not about addiction, not about heart disease, about loneliness. He called it an epidemic. More than half of American adults report measurable levels of loneliness. Similar numbers across the UK, Australia, Japan, Europe. But here is what makes this unlike any loneliness humans have experienced before. We are the most connected generation in the history of our species. We have more ways to reach each other than any humans who have ever lived. And we are lonelier than ever. That paradox is not an accident, and it is not a personal failure. Your brain has a deep biological need, as fundamental as food and water, for genuine social connection. Not contact, connection. Contact is seeing someone's face on a screen. Connection is being truly known by another human being. For decades now, without realizing it, we have been feeding our brains contact while starving them of connection. Every notification scratches the surface of the need without satisfying it. Every like gives the brain just enough social recognition to keep it reaching, never enough to make it feel full. Dr. John Cacioppo, who spent his entire career studying loneliness at the University of Chicago, said it simply: loneliness is not the absence of people. It is the absence of feeling understood by the people around you. You can be married and lonely. You can be famous and lonely. You can have 100 people who love you and still lie awake feeling like nobody actually sees you. Because what the human brain needs, what it has always needed, is to be known. Not liked, not followed, not surrounded, known. For many people watching this, the loneliness did not start with social media. It started much earlier. It started in a home where you learned that certain parts of you were not safe to show. Maybe you were the sensitive one, and sensitivity was not valued. Maybe you were the intense one, and intensity made people uncomfortable. Maybe you felt everything too deeply and learned slowly, through 1,000 small corrections, to feel it quietly, privately, alone. So you built a version of yourself that was acceptable, manageable, likable, easy to be around. And you got so good at performing that version that eventually even you forgot it was a performance. But the real you never stopped existing. It just stopped being offered to people. Because the last time you offered it, something happened. Someone looked uncomfortable, or changed the subject, or went quiet in a way that told you, not safe here. Wait before we continue. If this video explains something you've been fighting silently, subscribe, because this channel is for people trying to take their mind back. Now back to the video. And your nervous system filed that away and started making the decision for you before you even got the chance to choose. Don't go too deep. Don't need too much. Don't be too much. And so the gap opened between who you are with people and who you are alone. And the loneliness lives in that gap, not in the absence of people, in the distance between the you that shows up and the you that stays hidden. Loneliness is not just an emotion, it is a physiological state with measurable consequences. Dr. Cacioppo's research showed that chronic loneliness triggers the same stress response as a physical attack. Your body treats social isolation as a survival threat. Cortisol rises. Inflammation increases. Your immune system weakens. Studies show chronic loneliness carries the same mortality risk as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. 15 cigarettes a day. And the brain changes too. The lonely brain becomes hypervigilant. It scans every interaction for signs of rejection. It interprets neutral expressions as hostile. It becomes harder to trust, harder to open up, harder to believe connection is safe, which means loneliness creates the exact conditions that make loneliness worse. The more isolated you feel, the more your brain protects you from the very connections that would heal you. You pull back. People sense the distance. The distance grows. And somewhere in that cycle you start to believe, this is just who I am. But you were not born behind glass. You were placed there. And the glass is not you. 3 directions back. The first, stop performing, start revealing. Not to everyone, not all at once. Find one person and offer them one true thing you have never said out loud. Not a trauma, just something real, something unperformed. Dr. Arthur Aaron at Stony Brook University found that genuine intimacy can form in a single conversation, when both people are willing to be incrementally vulnerable. One true thing leads to another. Connection is not found, it is built, one honest moment at a time. The second, audit your inputs. After an hour of scrolling, you feel worse. After a real conversation, even a short one, something in you settles. Stop expecting your phone to feed a hunger it was never designed to satisfy. The third, grieve the connections you never had. For many people, the loneliness is not just about now. It is grief for the home where you could not be yourself, the friendships where you were never fully known, the relationships where you made yourself smaller. That grief is real. When you feel it, you stop carrying it as evidence that something is wrong with you. You start carrying it as the truth of what you survived. You were never too much. You were never too sensitive, too intense, too deep, too needy. You were a human being with a human being's need, to be known. You are awake. Awake to a hunger that most people have learned to numb with scrolling and noise and performance. You refuse to numb it. And that refusal is not your weakness. It is the most human thing about you. The loneliness you feel is not a verdict on your worth. It is a compass, pointing toward the kind of connection that does not require a performance, the kind where you get to show up, all of you, and have that be enough. That connection exists. It begins the moment you stop hiding the part of you that needs it. If this is something you have never been able to say out loud, the comments section is open. You are not as alone in this as it feels tonight. And if someone needs to hear this, send it to them. Sometimes the most connected thing we can do is let someone know they were seen.